Welcome back to Yanks Abroad. Gio Reyna made his debut for Mönchengladbach. They lost 4-0 to Werder Bremen, but as you can see on the screen, we are going to go through some of those best moments, some of those moments he could have gotten better at, and some of those moments that we came to expect with the lack of playing time out of Gio Reyna. Now, we're going to go through all of this, the entire performance for Gio Reyna, what it means, and how he fits into the US men's national team now after seeing that first match. And then, of course, we will run through all of the Yanks Abroad, as it says in the name of the channel, and what they did over the past week, including Ricardo Pepi getting a brace, and then playing in the Champions League midweek. Tim Weah scored at the Bernabéu, and a lot more, but let's get right in to Gio Reyna. As I said, he played and he made his full debut for Borussia Mönchengladbach, playing 74 minutes and a 4-0 loss to Werder Bremen. He had 3 shots, 1 shot on target, 20 of 29 passing, 1 chance created, 2 successful dribbles on 4 attempts, and 6 out of his 10 duels won. Let's get right into the breakdown here. So, early on, I thought Gio Reyna was a little bit slow to the match. I thought he just looked like he lacked match fitness. He hadn't played at a game of this speed. Not surprising by any means. But as you can see here, Gio Reyna picks the ball up here in the left-hand side. He played as a number 10, drifting to both sides, and I do have a heat map that I can definitely bring up at some point throughout this video as well. But he was, I thought, really mostly playing in that left half space, but did some nice things from the right-hand side as well. As you can see, Reyna here, he picks it up. He's got his left winger here making a great run against, not only is this line very high, but this left winger isn't going to be offside for another 5 steps no matter what. Reyna picks his ball up here, and he's got a real chance to just release it into this space. Takes a few dribbles too long, ends up losing the ball out of bounds, passing it out of bounds basically, just took a heavy touch. But again, I'm not trying to be overly critical here. I'm just looking at how he played and the facts of it. And in this situation, I would have liked Gio Reyna to get rid of it a little bit quicker. But immediately as the game went on, I thought Reyna got better and better and better. Here's an opportunity where I think Gio Reyna showed something that he didn't do at all at Dortmund last year. And that's moving off the ball well, moving into open space, and trying to be an attacking force, not just when the ball comes to his feet. We know Gio Reyna likes to have the ball directly played to his feet. But in this situation, he sees this right back is pushing towards the man on the ball. Reyna sees a whole lot of space to run into. He makes that run. The ball comes in a little bit short. I don't think the weight of the pass was excellent. As you can see, by the time Reyna is able to corral it, this entire team is getting back. But nonetheless, he's patient, takes a touch, waits as long as he can until his tackle is going to be made, gets rid of it, plays this player into space. They get on the ball, into the box, and a chance is created here. Really well done by Gio Reyna, right? This here, I mean, you would have liked this ball to be played a little bit more directly and Gio Reyna be able to run on to goal, but he sees. He's got 2 runners coming in. If these 2 players are popping towards him, he's going to have 2 runners making runs into this empty space. He holds it. He waits for them to get into that space, attracts 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders to him before playing this ball into space. Really nicely done by Gio Reyna, and the type of thing that we've grown accustomed to seeing out of him. There's a certain aspect of Gio Reyna's game that I don't believe anyone else possesses, and that's the final ball. It's the ability to play the pass that maybe other players in the current U.S. men's national team setup don't see, but also to have the ability to play that pass. Again, I think a big complaint of mine with Gio Reyna in the last year has been his lack of movement off the ball, getting into the right areas, identifying the right spaces to be into. Because, again, there's no question about his ability once he's on the ball. And here he goes, another opportunity, right? He's kind of playing almost as a second striker. He's further forward than his striker in this moment. But he knows his striker doesn't want the ball to feed here. This striker wants to make this run down the line, and he's got 1 defender here with him. So what does Reyna do? He waits for the striker to make the run, and he pops into this little space here. Nice pass into him, and then Reyna is turning and running with the ball forward. So what does Gio Reyna do? He pops into this little space here as the striker takes a defender on the run, is able to receive and turn with the ball immediately. He's got this striker still making this run, right? This striker has done a really nice job to not outrun, run offside, stay in play. Now Reyna's turning on the ball. One of these players is going to have to step to him, which means his striker is going to be in a foot race with the defender. So as this player steps to him, you'd like Reyna to play this pass into the striker. It's there. It's on. As you can see, the striker already maybe a half a step offside. Reyna should have released the ball. Does not end up trying to attempt this pass. Turns around. Again, I'm not trying to be overly critical. In an ideal world, I would have liked to see Reyna release that pass. He's done everything right up to this point. He has created what is, if he gets his ball through here, if he plays this ball on the ground here, maybe this defender beats him to it, maybe not. I'm not saying that this is an automatic goal-scoring opportunity, but it's a progressive play. It's, driving the impetus of the match in a match where Gladbach are playing from behind. And if this ball comes through, you basically have a 2-on-1 or a 2-on-2 if you include the goalkeeper. Reyna doesn't play that pass. He does retain possession, recycles. Okay, I can live with it. As he plays more matches, I think this will happen. I believe this is a great role for him. As you can see, I have now brought up the heat map, actually, for Gio Reyna. So you'll see the first few actions, he's really comfortable in this left half space. He grows into the match, gets all over the place, ends up in the right, ends up being in the box quite a bit. I think he had 6 touches or 5 touches inside the opponent's box in 77 minutes. So really an overall well-played match from Gio Reyna. Here he is picking up that ball in the right half space, right? He gets it just in between the line of the midfield and the defense in transition. So now he's got the ball. He's got a striker here next to him. Really in a 2-on-2. It's about to be about a 3-on-4, maybe a 4-on-5, as you can see, and a 5-on-5 if this player moves forward with him. But Gio Reyna this time makes a quick decision. Sees the striker, maybe doesn't have a step yet, but he's running forwards while the defender's running backwards, plays this ball into the space. It does get snuffed out by the defender, who makes a very nice play to get in the way of that passing lane, but I like the pass. I like the play. This is the kind of thing we need from the U.S. If we want to create these mini transitions, if we want to play back to front quickly, a player like Gio Reyna, when he's on his game, when he's making these decisions, can be very crucial to the way we play. Again, quickly, this ball, touch there. One more touch and a pass. 3 touches, and he's released this ball forward. It doesn't work out here, but I like that that's where his mind is. And I don't believe that Diego Luna is there. Or, Tillman and Pulisic, I believe, are the kind of players who make that pass. Tillman and Pulisic are probably only 2 players who do, but I don't feel that they're pass first in a lot of ways. Tillman and Pulisic are carry first, pass second. Gio Reyna's our pass first 10 that would make a huge difference in the side. Here's an instance of Gio Reyna pressing. Again, I don't want to hang too much on last year where I think he didn't have a lot of opportunity. He was disinterested in a lot of ways. But Gio Reyna presses hard. Sees this as a bouncing ball, an opportunity to potentially push this backwards, win a second ball. He overcommits a little bit. The player makes a nice way to wriggle out of it. But what does he do? He doesn't give up. He doesn't stand behind and wait for this next player to pick him up. Chases the player down, gets inside of him, wins the ball. So from here, he gets inside of him on the next step, wins the ball with his next touch, and then immediately plays this pass forward into his striker. Really, really smart play by Gio Reyna to win a second ball in that situation. And I just want to be clear, this striker is not offside. There are players back here still. So don't think that this is an offside pass. The striker now turns and runs at goal. They don't end up getting a great opportunity out of it, but not to Gio Reyna's discredit. Another really excellent show of patience here from Gio Reyna. Picks up the ball on the edge of the box. Doesn't look to shoot first. Sees his opportunity. Sees his striker is double marked. This pass to the back post is unlikely to be realistic. He's got players in his way. So what does he do? Takes one more touch. Waits for this midfielder to make the run. As this second defender steps up, plays the ball in. Midfielder gets on it and rips a shot into the side netting. But Gio Reyna, again, creating a chance. The way that he sees passes, the way that he's able to time and play them with the right pace, this is the pass-first player that this team is desperately needing. When we need a pass to unlock the team, when our carry-first players are not getting in positions to run at the defense with space, you need a player like this who can break down a mid-block with a simple pass like this, with a simple hesitation, with a little bit of change of pace in the way that the game is running. And that's what Gio Reyna offers. And again, all of these nice little actions in just 77 minutes in his first match. I'm not showing you all the stuff where he looked a little bit sluggish, out of possession, pressing. I'm not going to show you all that. That stuff because of a lack of match fitness and a lack of playing over the last 2 years. What I am showing you is the kind of things that I expect to see from Gio Reyna more and more every week on top of the things that we're not looking at here. If those things don't get better, I will start to highlight them. But I think it's unfair to the player to highlight those types of things when he just hasn't had the opportunity to play. Now here in the second half, again, I'm hammering this drum. I know I've said it a ton. But a thing about Gio Reyna that's always bothered me, or at least bothered me really, not always, in the last couple of years, is his movement off the ball. His unwillingness to take responsibility and find himself in positions that he can be his best self. I think a lot of the time at Dortmund, and I think it had to do with the system, Reyna was so coached to be in a certain spot that he oftentimes hid from responsibility. He hid behind defenders because that's the area of the pitch he thought he needed to be in. But now as playing as a true number 10, as you can see again, highlighting this heat map where Reyna popping up all over the place, he was the one driving the impetus in this match to get into those spaces. Right back, again, Joe Scally didn't play in this match, but right back on the ball, Reyna sees, okay, he's gotten in behind the midfielders. This 6 now has to cover all this space. I'm going to go make this run. Makes the run, the ball comes in, defender does slide to it. Reyna doesn't give up on it, wins it from the defender, and then it's not over then. 2 defenders close on him, he skips past them, recycles the ball all the way around, ends up over here, back onto the left-hand side. Now you've gone back to front, and an opportunity for a goal. Doesn't happen, but just shows you what Gio Reyna is offering this team right now as a number 10. Really, really exciting stuff. And the fact that he's so comfortable, again, in the left half space, in the right half space, the fact that he's a pass first 10, not a carry first 10, all things that are super important. It doesn't mean I want to throw Gio Reyna right into the starting 11 in October at this very moment, but what it does mean is different matches that require different types of attack, Gio Reyna can offer. And if we're chasing a game and we need a pass-first player who can break down a mid-block, if it's 0-0 in the third game of the group stages against Iran and they're playing deep and they just need a point and we need 3, and you bring on Gio Reyna because of his ability to unlock the game, that's what we're seeing here from Gio Reyna that we haven't seen, right? Like, even when Gio Reyna was playing last year, we weren't seeing that out of him. That was the most concerning thing to me. Not that he's not a talented player, not that he's not getting enough run out, but the fact that we weren't seeing the Gio Reyna that we know is so talented. A player who 2-3 years ago was linked with Real Madrid, Arsenal, the biggest clubs in the world because of this talent. This is a position and a talent that is not popular anymore in the game. It's so much carry first. To have a pass first 10, who, by the way, can score a gorgeous goal from a lot of different angles, and did have 3 shots in this match, all with, reasonable chance of challenging the keeper. It's exciting to see. Just a couple more things here on Gio Reyna. We're going to move into the rest of the players soon, I promise. This actually is such a small action. Such a small action. But to me was maybe my favorite one in the way that it will change the way the United States can play. This ball is played into Gio Reyna, right? From what I've seen from the U.S. men's national team since Pochettino came in, especially when it's Berhalter, Luca De La Torre, I don't want to say Jack McGlynn because I don't think he's like this, but to me, those 2 players, when they receive the ball in midfield with their back to goal, and there's a player coming to close them down when that ball's coming in, their first instinct is always pass to the center back or pass to the center back or pass back to midfield. That's what they do. They turn away from where the press is coming from and pass away from it. That's fine some of the times. But what Gio Reyna does here is just perfection. Receives the ball, sees that this defender now is facing him, blinded to the player who played the ball towards him. This defender's covering here. He is already scanned. All he does is first touch, just play it into the space. Play the ball into the space. It's triangles. It's all triangles, right? Bang, bang. He's created a triangle. Play a pass, make a run, play a pass. We need more of that. We need so much more of that. And again, a carry first player isn't going to do that most likely, right? I mean, Tillman, I think, is really good at playing these little balls around the corner. But I think Pulisic, and I'm not saying this in a negative light. This is what makes Pulisic so great. He turns and actually runs at the goal with this. But to have a player who's pass first, who can get Serginho Dest, who's probably going to be right back, into this kind of space now, running at the defense with the ball at his feet, it's just a different type of player to have. And this is the final action I'm going to show you of Gio Reyna, I promise. I know it's been a lot of Gio Reyna. It's a corner kick played short to Reyna in tons of space. Plays a lovely ball to the back post. You see, this striker now is in the way of these 2 players. He can play this ball into the back post, and this player is now going to head it back across goal. I would say Reyna maybe overhit the pass just a touch, but I'd rather him overhit it than underhit it. Plays it back across. Turns into a great opportunity. That's a goal line clearance. And I'm just going to give Gio Reyna a little bit of slack here. And I think, again, this to me is, it was towards his last minutes on the pitch. I think he was getting tired. Hasn't played a lot of football. Gio Reyna played this pass and then stood here. He is in the same spot that he was when he played the pass. You'd like to see that ball come in and Gio Reyna now fill this space, right? If this ball's not going to come back across goal, you know the idea of this cross is that the ball's coming back across goal. If Gio Reyna fills this space in when this ball is cleared off the goal line here, he'll have a tap in. He would have been there first. He would have had a tap in. I'm not trying to be overly harsh. Maybe he wouldn't have, but I would have liked to see him crash the box a little bit more. That's what we need out of Gio Reyna. He's a goal scorer. He's a good goal scorer out of midfield. Crash the box, play a pass, and follow it into the box. Time those runs right. And you know how he gets better at that? By playing more. He has not played enough football in the last year or so. It's honestly that simple to me, and I'm very excited by this. Immediately, this moves Gio Reyna up in my rankings for the next time we have that, assuming he continues to play like this. Just something that we have needed to see out of Gio Reyna for a very long time. Now we're going to zip through our Yanks abroad. I'm not going to bore you with every single stat. Just want to update you on the players that I think it's important to update you on. Pepe and Balogun, 63 minutes against Auxerre. Did get an assist. To call what he had an assist, I'm not sure how it's being called that. He tried to pass it, ricocheted off two defenders, and fell into the lap of Minamino. I don't think that's technically an assist, but it's being recorded as an assist everywhere. It was a very weird match in general for Monaco. Ricardo Pepi, as I mentioned at the top, back in action, started on the weekend, scored 2 goals, 14 of 16 passing, 3 chances created. He won 6 of 10 duels. The goals were super well taken. I just think Ricardo Pepi has really matured a lot as a striker. To me, when he first kind of broke out, the athleticism, the pace, the physicality of a player of that size was really what stood out. But at times I thought he was kind of wasteful in his chances. But the first goal Ricardo Pepi scored in this match, he received the ball, kind of moving momentum away from goal. But instead of just lashing at it first time, he took a touch, waited for a defender to fly by, took another touch, settled himself, ripped the ball into the bottom corner, unsavable, really well taken. And then the second, a nice header. I think a better goalkeeper maybe saves it. It was kind of placed middle, but all he could do. I'm not saying it was a bad header. Nonetheless, 2 goals. Really good to see out of Pepi. Our strikers are fit. They're playing. This is what we need now, right? Everyone kind of panicked. Oh, the striker situation. These 2 guys, if they're fit and playing every week, and Balogun's playing alongside Mika Biereth. So Monaco want to play both of them together. That's good news for us. The 2 of them are playing. They're getting involved in goals. Whether or not Balogun's assist was a good assist, he was involved in a goal. Whether or not Ricardo Pepi's second goal would have been saved by a better keeper, he was involved in a goal. That's what you want from your strikers, obviously. And then Pepi did play in the Champions League. Wasn't his best match. He was at fault for the first goal was a penalty. He was trying to clear it and just took out the player for Union Saint. I don't even want to try and pronounce this Belgian team because I know everyone's going to freak out. So we'll just say Union. And then he kind of lost possession that led to the second goal, but I would have liked to see PSV's defense do a little bit better than letting a player dribble half the pitch and scoring a goal. 16 of 18 passing, 2 shots on target, and a chance created for Ricardo Pepi in that match. Christian Pulisic played the final 25 minutes for Milan and looked very bright. He was spectacular and should have had at least 1 assist, if not 2, and maybe a penalty drawn in this match. But the worrying thing was what Allegri said. He seemed to allude to the fact that he thinks Christian Pulisic is like a 6th man or a super sub. And that's kind of what his role might be. It seemed like maybe a weird translation thing. But, man, every time he's played for them, he's seemed to be the brightest player on the pitch for them. I can't imagine that'll be the case. Milan will have a ton of matches. So I would imagine Pulisic will play himself back into that starting 11. But it's not that I need Pulisic to start every match, but for the player's confidence after the last 2 seasons he had, it would be very strange for him to become a super sub all of a sudden. Chris Richards. My Chris Richards hype train is not going to stop at any point, so if you don't want to hear more Chris Richards hype, you can skip through this, but there shouldn't be any U.S. men's national team fans who are skipping through the Chris Richards hype train. Played 90 minutes and kept a clean sheet in the 0-0 draw with Sunderland on the weekend in the Premier League. 54 of 60 passing, a chance created where he won a ball in the box, again, with his head. He is just so aerially dominant in both boxes. It's unbelievable how strong. I feel like I've said this before, but the way that confidence has changed the way Chris Richards plays, obviously he just came to Crystal Palace at such a young age, but he seemed a little bit like a deer in the headlights. Didn't know where he wanted to be, how to use his body. He's like this an unbelievable athletic, physical body, and now he's become truly one of the best and most informed center backs in the Premier League. Crystal Palace have now kept 11 clean sheets in the 19 Premier League games when they have started a back 3 of Chris Richards, Max Lecroix, and Mark Gahey. 11 out of 19 and 3 in a row. That's not by happenstance. These 3 players are complementing each other incredibly well. Chris Richards is so good at that right center back role for them. I so badly want to see Pochettino experiment with Richards right center back, Ream left center back, and Mark McKenzie in the middle. I know Mark McKenzie's not in the world's best form, but I so want to see Chris Richards for the U.S. men's national team at that right center back role. I just think he's poised to just be even better than he's already been. He's just been so good. And then in the League Cup today, an hour and a half ago from when I'm recording right now. This will go live Wednesday morning, but I'm recording this Tuesday afternoon. Scored in the 72nd minute to give Palace the lead. It was a weird corner kick thing where the ball's kind of bouncing around and he just stuck a foot out and then scored the second penalty in the shootout to help them advance. Like, Chris Richards is becoming one of the most important people to Crystal Palace, and I would not be shocked. I mean, listen, they're going to lose Mark Gahey this summer, so I don't imagine they're going to let Chris Richards walk, but I think there's going to be some big offers come in for Chris Richards. I mean, man, any team that's playing with a back three, to have a player this aerially dominant, the way that set pieces have become so important, and his passing range, 4 or 5 long balls in that Premier League match, he's just getting more and more confident on the ball by the week. I'm blown away by Chris Richards. I know I just went on a huge tangent, but I'm blown away. Malik Tillman, 62 minutes against Frankfurt, 12 of 13 passing, 3 shots, none of which were on target, a chance created, did win 4 of his 7 duels. It's a weird situation here at Leverkusen, right? Eric Ten Hag goes out and brings in Tillman to replace Wirtz because he likes to play with double 10s. What a great tactical fit for Tillman, and how he's going to play for the U.S. men's national team. Everything we want. Ten Hag gets fired after 3 matches. Okay, I'm not going to freak out about that because I don't think Ten Hag's a great coach. He's not a good man manager. He's a risky proposition overall as a person. They bring in, again, the pronunciation's not my best thing. Hjulmand, who is the Danish manager, who plays a 3-4-3 similarly to Ten Hag. But that 3 they're not necessarily like double 10s to me. Like they're a little bit more like inside forwards playing off the striker, which to me is just like 12 of 13 passing from Malik Tillman. Like I know I said he's a carry first player. I'd like to get him on the ball more than that. He's more influential than that. He needs to be in possession a little bit more. So it's going to be interesting to see how this translates. Like if he's going to be given the license to drop a little deeper when he needs to. Like keep in mind, this was a midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder for a lot of his young career. I mean, he kind of had a bit of like a growth spurt, an athletic spurt, what made him more of an attacker. But I just do want to see him on the ball a little bit more. So we'll keep an eye on that. As I mentioned at the top, Tim Weah clearly has become the starting left winger now for Marseille. Started and played 61 minutes in the 4-0 win over Lorient on the weekend. 26 of 30 passing, 2 chances created. Did have a big chance miss on a good opportunity from right around the penalty spot. Then today at the Bernabéu, he also had a big chance missed. But then the goal at the Bernabéu, just unbelievable scenes for Tim Weah. He made such a fantastic run in transition that I feel like is a lost art in today's game. It reminded me of the way that Arsene Wenger's teams would counter in transition. When you would have 3 players kind of running at the ball, right? Like running at the goal. This first guy's running. Then you've got like another guy kind of tucking in behind him. And Tim Weah came from this side around the back of Greenwood. So Greenwood was driving. I know this is weird. I'm doing it with my fingers. I should have a tactical board up, but I don't. He's driving at the defense, and Weah comes around the back of him. So the defenders are all on this side of Greenwood where the goal is. Weah comes around the side. Greenwood lays it off to him, and Weah just strikes right through the laces of it. Great, spectacular goal. Unlucky for them to lose 2-1, give up 2 penalties in this match, especially after Danny Carvajal got a red card. But Tim Weah, growing into this role at Marseille, the way I said he would, if you haven't seen my speech on him and De Zerbi ball and how he's going to fit in at Marseille, we're seeing it now. Last 2 matches, really getting Tim Weah in the right positions. Very exciting. Weston McKennie. What can I say? I told you he'd be back in the starting lineup. I know everyone was like, he's not playing at Juve. Everyone says he's not playing. He's playing. He's playing left wing back on the week in the 4-3 win over Inter. Played right wing back during the midweek against Dortmund in the Champions League. Not excited about either of those things, but Weston McKennie continues to be a vital part of the way that Juventus wants to play. This is what he does. Fights his way back in. Always does. Always will. Johnny Cardoso did not play in the win over Villarreal. He sprained his ankle in training last week. And he's not going to be playing this week either, it doesn't look like. Not a great sign for Johnny Cardoso because he had a hot start to the year. And now not involved in the U.S. men's national team in September. Now he's injured. I'm not loving the writing on the wall here for Johnny Cardoso for the October camp. Tanner Tesmann just continues to be a huge part of Lyon's plans. He did play in that 3-1 loss to Rennes. 39 of 47 passing, 1 chance created, 2 of 2 successful dribbles, 3 of 5 on long balls, 9 of 13 duels won. He won all of his aerial duels. He made 2 tackles, 1 block, 3 clearances, 1 interception, and 7 recoveries. This is a player whose athleticism is getting better and better by the day. He's clearly improving his play as the deepest midfielder, and he's one of 4 players who has played every single minute for Lyon this year. Tanner Tesmann, I know people wrote him off. Tanner Tesmann is working his way into being a starter for the U.S. men's national team. He's continuing to get better week after week. I'm very excited about Tanner Tesmann. I need to watch more Lyon. I didn't get to catch a lot of this match. I need to watch more Tanner Tesmann. I watched a lot of him before the international break. A player who I expect to have a massive camp in October. Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams continues to be massive for Bournemouth, and I feel like people who watch my videos don't realize when I talk about him for the U.S. men's national team, it's strictly because I don't think he's a tactical fit for Pochettino. For Iraola, he is perfect. The system suits him. It's controlled chaos. Iraola wants high press, get after the ball, and then if you get beat, chase after the ball to try and recover it. Does that sound like any midfielder you know? Yeah, sounds like Tyler Adams. That's not how Pochettino wants to play. They're totally different. And then in possession, you want to know how Iraola wants to play? He wants his midfielders to receive, quickly turn, and play the ball forward. Play the ball into his pacey wingers and into his center forward who wants to play off of those, have those wingers play off of him. That sounds like Tyler Adams to me. That's not what Pochettino is trying to do at all. These are completely different systems, right? For Tyler Adams in this 2-1 win over Brighton, 39-47 passing, 1 chance created, 6 passes into the final third. Pochettino doesn't have Tyler Adams playing in a position to be paying the ball into the final third very often. These aren't the same. Tyler Adams is having a spectacular start to the year for Bournemouth. He hasn't looked good for the U.S. men's national team. Some players don't fit every system. Tyler Adams at this moment doesn't seem to. Yunus Musa, 14 minutes in his debut for Atalanta, who gave him the 6th shirt. Big plans for Yunus Musa, clearly. He came in for Martin de Roon, kind of played in that right center midfield role, right side of midfield, 13 of 15 passing and 2 successful dribbles on 2 attempts in 15 minutes. Patrick Agyemang, on his Derby County debut, got an assist in just 21 minutes of action. Another one where, not the world's greatest assist, but he did what Patrick Agyemang does, which is he attracted defenders, attracted bodies because he's an aerial threat. He sort of flicked on a header slightly. The defenders were closer to him, opened up space for, I think it was Wyman who scored, who was able to take the ball down and score in the box. More of that from Patrick Agyemang. Great to see. He's in a position now where he's really fighting to get into this squad. Damian Downs did not play on the weekend for Southampton. Josh Sargent. Shockingly, Josh Sargent played a match and didn't score. Didn't know that was possible in the championship. 84 minutes. Before I say it, I want everyone to guess. How many passes did Josh Sargent attempt in 84 minutes? If you guessed 3 passes, you were right. 2 of 3 passing for Josh Sargent in 84 minutes. I don't want to piss off all the Josh Sargent fans in the comments, but that clearly just cannot be good enough. 2 completed passes in 84 minutes from the striker. On the flip side, because Norwich played Coventry, Haji Wright scored the 96th minute to equalize for Coventry against Norwich. Again, not the best goal, but this guy is just clutch. Always has been, in the right places at the right times. Haji did have 2 big chances missed in this match, though, but 2 successful dribbles, 5 of his 8 duels won, and 1 chance created. More Haji Wright, more Haji Wright, more Haji Wright. 5 goals and an assist in 6 matches for Haji Wright. That is my dog, and I surely hope we get to see him in October because he deserves it. Mark McKenzie, 90 minutes against Lille in a 2-1 loss. Mark McKenzie, 90 minutes against Lille in a 2-1 loss. 12 of 16 passing, 4 of 8 duels won. Toulouse were basically defending this entire match. I think it was like 71-29% possession, and they gave up 2 goals in stoppage time. McKenzie even said after the match, that stoppage time was incredibly frantic, and we lost our cool a little bit. Hasn't been a great start to the year for Mark McKenzie in Toulouse. So maybe playing into the role of him not being a part of the U.S. squad at the moment. But definitely want to keep an eye on because he certainly is the 3rd most talented center back we have, not including Noah Kai Banks, who at the moment isn't really playing. Serginho Dest had an assist in 90 minutes at left back. He did end up moving over to right back around the 65th minute when the right back was taken off. Just continuing to be an absolute beast. The assist came in transition, and guess what? It came from Dest running in the central areas. More Dest in the central areas, more of it. He can pop out wide whenever he wants, but I want more Dest in the central areas. I want to see Dest sliding into that pivot. I want to see Tesmann and Cardoso as the starting pivot, with one of them dropping into the center backs and Dest coming central. I want to see it. I know it will work. I want to see it. 27 of 30 passing for Dest, 2 chances created, 5 of 8 duels won. He also played in that Champions League match. No one from PSV was on their best day, including Serginho Dest. In that match, he started at right back. Anthony Robinson didn't feature, still not fully back and fit. Cameron Carter-Vickers, 90 minutes in a 2-1 win for Celtic, but Austin Trusty certainly has fallen out of favor with Brendan Rodgers. Noah Kai Banks. A lot of people talk about Noah Kai Banks, want him in the squad, all these things. I do too, but if he's not playing for club or country, he's not going to be in the squad. We need to see Noah Kai Banks play. Joe Scally, surprisingly, we didn't see him feature against Bremen. One to keep an eye on for sure. Kind of goes with my theory of him kind of falling out of favor just in general. Griffin Yao scored again. I keep kind of talking about Griffin Yao. He hasn't played for Pochettino, so I don't think we're going to see Griffin Yao, but I love Griffin Yao, so I'm going to keep updating you on Griffin Yao. This time it was a penalty kick in a big win for Westerlo. Cole Campbell played 16 minutes against Heidenheim. Good to see him getting some run. Did not play for Dortmund in the Champions League in midweek. And last but not least, a player who certainly won't be involved by Pochettino if he said what he meant when he said, that September was the last time trying out new players, but James Sands. Another very solid performance for James Sands in a 2-1 win over Augsburg. 34 of 44 passing, 14 duels won out of 18. 14 duels won. 7 out of 7 aerial duels won, and he made 5 tackles. He has St. Pauli off to their best start ever in the Bundesliga as their deepest midfielder. Cannot understand why he hasn't gotten a chance. I hope Pochettino gives him a chance. I'm not saying James Sands is the answer, the future. He's going to be a starter, but he certainly deserves a chance. He went out and got himself a job in the Bundesliga on loan last year, stayed with St. Pauli, and now is one of their best players in the Bundesliga, and they're in 4th place. Give me James Sands. That's Yanks Abroad. Gio Reyna, great to see. If you like these breakdowns, please let me know. If there's a certain player you want me to key in on a couple of their performances for next week, definitely let me know in the comments because I'm kind of just doing what I'm interested in. But if you have a player you want me to highlight, spotlight, do these breakdowns, if there's a different way you want me to do these breakdowns that's better and easier for you to see, I wish I could use video. I cannot on YouTube. That's Yanks Abroad. Hit the subscribe button. Give me a like, please. Loving all the interactions that I'm getting. It's been just a joy over the last 6 months to really hone this in with all of you, chatting in the comments, watching, enjoying the content. I'm enjoying making it. A lot of exciting things happening, and we'll talk to you next week here on Yanks Abroad.